What's up? What's up? What's up?
S9.
Yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Hey, hey. How is everyone doing today? Automatic question. 3-2 versus 2-3-5. The 3-2 is becoming quite fun if you have a camera that can do it. It doesn't really make sense for a TV though. But we all know that. Can you hear me okay? I feel like I'm only at like one notch here. Hold on. How's the sound? Okay, good. I mean, I do like OpenGate. I don't have it on the Monstro, but it doesn't really matter because the sensor is plenty big enough, and it's kind of a silly debate that people want OpenGate so much, to be honest, other than for anamorphic. Poor man's IMAX. Exactly. Well, right now I'm shooting on the Lumix, and it has it, but then you're shooting at 6K, and the file sizes are bigger, and you're losing color on it, and it does change things quite a bit. I do wish everything kind of came in that format, though. I still have the Komodo, and I use it as my B camera a lot. Sometimes I will just just finishing shooting a short film right now, my own short film that I've been trying to make for a couple months. And there's like been a couple like pickup shots, and I'll just pick up the Komodo to go get those shots rather than using the Monstro because my Monstro kit is just so big, whereas the Komodo is, I mean, obviously like just so tiny, and you can just pick it up. I can use like a smaller tripod, etc., etc. I don't have to put the big monitor on it. I honestly like really miss shooting on this. Like every time I get it out, I'm even though the Monstro can be broken down to a very small form factor, I do like miss how small this is. And it kind of like makes me want to even the Raptor isn't that much bigger than this. It kind of makes me want to get something like that. But the Monstro bang for the buck is just it's too good. Komodo is like really I still think pretty underrated. I mean, I shot an entire movie on one and I don't think anyone could tell the difference. Have you ever dropped a client as a freelancer due to bad conditions, vibes, etc.? I'm not really a good person to ask about that because if someone has bad vibes, like my just natural personality is to just like check them out of my life really fast. So I probably just wouldn't like re-engage very well, but I've never like dropped someone in the middle of a shoot or anything. I've always like been professional and done the thing. But if there's just like bad vibes, they probably know it too. I'm definitely not going to be welcoming and they're probably just going to move on. But no, I've never had to do that. That does not sound fun though. Definitely been in bad conditions before. Definitely been in places like I had it where like half my crew didn't get paid once, but I still got paid. Some people like flew in from Italy and they needed this big commercial shot and we were like shooting it really fast paced and it just the whole vibe felt super like I guess sketch like the whole time. And then sure enough, some people didn't get paid and stuff like that. Obviously never talked to them again. Even when they were like trying to like they were trying to get me to like go to Italy to film something and I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not doing that." Have I seen the new movie from PTA? Yeah. 10 out of 10. An actually good movie in the landscape of movies. It's a banger. The script is good, the cinematography is good, the pacing is good. It's really cool tonally. It's like there's so much comedy but drama and action all happening at like simultaneously. Really really fun movie. Yeah, Monstro is always a cam. The Monstro is really good. Like the latitude on it is really nice. The shadow latitude is what surprised me the most coming from all the other red cameras. The Monstro like has way more latitude in the shadows and you can shoot it at like such a range of ISOs. Extremely pleased with that. I was thinking about maybe making a video about it, but I'm like definitely not sad about the purchase of the Monstro. It is an old camera, um, but that hasn't bothered me. I mean, it's like the most. It's a proper cinema camera. It does everything. Obviously, it doesn't have an internal ND, but I don't think that constitutes a cinema camera. I don't really actually like internal ND, but I'm like the weird one in that department. Fuji's new cinema camera. I don't think it should be 16 grand. It's a repackaged GFX. Um, very limiting sensor level to be called a cinema camera, but we know that all companies use the word cinema camera now like it means anything. It's just marketing. You can get the new, and it just what do you want? Do you want the full frame? I mean the large format or medium format. I guess it's really only like 46 millimeters or something like that. If you want that, then it's good. I mean, if that's what you want, then that's the only reason to get it. All the other reasons, I would much rather get something like the new Raptor XE or something, which is priced basically around the same, and you're getting like one of the best cameras ever made. So like with some limitations, but ZR, I'm trying to get a ZR in. I think it would be cool to replace my Komodo with a ZR. From what I can tell watching the footage online and stuff, I do feel like the codec, the red codec is has the secret sauce even if it's 12-bit or 16-bit. And I've always said this, you get this fidelity out of it that you do not get out of other codecs. And that's why I've always kind of shot red, regardless of their what people think about it. But I like the kind of like raw sensor level data that you get from it. And I think that is interesting on the Nikon because now that I use my Komodo really for like a 6 second shot here and there, it'd be nice to have full frame, be able to put my thigh pox on the full frame and get the full, scope of that lens, and still be able to shoot R3D color match. It's really tiny. It's really cheap. I mean, it's cheaper than a Komodo, right? It's really cheap. So I'm debating, and the rolling shutter is so good. I mean, it's what, 9 milliseconds. Um, it's not global shutter, but I mean that's really good. So I am going to get a Nikon ZR and I'm going to test it. Although I haven't really been testing cameras on the channel that much, I'm going to be testing the ZR. I think for what people, it's not a cinema camera. I wouldn't call it that, but the fact that it has red raw and it's full frame, I might use it as a B camera a lot. I might even replace my vlog camera with that, and so I can have, instead of having three cameras, owning three cameras, I can just have the two. Um, so the ZR is interesting to me. So many limitations. Micro HDMI is just the dumbest thing. But maybe I throw a cage on it and a little micro HDMI like dongle, like secure that somehow, and then I don't know. I'm gonna play with it and then decide. The file sizes are not cool. File sizes are bigger than my Monstro. Like that, I don't want that. But because I only use my Komodo for like secondary shots, I am interested in it. It's not an A camera. I wouldn't call it an A camera at all. I would call it a B camera. Should I get a Komodo OG or a Varicam LT? Very different cameras. The Varicam is cool and cheap. Um, it's a very weird two cameras to like compare. I would get the Komodo though, probably, unless you just need all those features that come with the Varicam. But what, it only shoots ProRes 422 or something like that? I've been stuck in this lower paying job and I feel I'm always any advice for breaking out of the loop circles. I feel I'm just moving. Lower paying jobs, like you're freelance. I'm talking to Brian here. Brian, are you freelance and the jobs just aren't paying you enough, or are you at a job? Oh, $500 job. Are you doing like social work, $500? I mean, a lot of what this industry is faking it till you make it. So really, I would say, okay, you are freelance. Just, it sounds, and this is like a life advice thing, dude. Just be the thing that you want to be. So just charge more. Simply put yourself in a different bracket. You might have to deal with that like lag in between, but just simply say, I cost this much money. I don't do a job for anything less than this. And then you'll start attracting those clients that can give you the more money. The thing I used to always say is like, if back when I got started, I shot some weddings when I was like really young, and I'd be like, if you shoot one wedding, you get two more weddings. So don't shoot something that you don't want to shoot two more of, right? So if you want to get higher paying things, maybe you want to not do social videos, maybe you want to do commercial videos. Okay, well then shoot a commercial for free. Say you're a commercial DP or what, I'm not sure what your job is, shooter, and then charge for that and only be that. And only show off that type of work. Don't show off your $500 job works. But there's different markets, right? You could be doing a bunch of social content. If you had a bunch of $500 jobs, that would obviously add up. But my advice is always like, if you want to make more money, then simply ask for more money and go to those things. You just need to do the same thing you're doing, just in a bigger market with higher ticket items. It does sound daunting just to be like, just don't do that. I understand that, but that's my advice. Like ACs all the time, camera assistants are always like, I want to be a DP. I'm like, well, then you just have to stop being an AC. Like, just stop taking AC jobs, or only market yourself as a DP and take those AC jobs and don't tell anyone about them. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck there. I mean, it's just how it works. big camera, but Ursa 12K surprisingly has Alexa look vibes. It does. As in, maybe you're talking about like the dynamic range too, but the dynamic range tests that I've seen with that camera are a little underwhelming. Easton Oliver, you guy. I haven't used the 12K, so I can't really talk about it, but I do think that um I mean, I don't think I think it's Alexa-ish. Nothing can really compete with the Alexa. I'm moving from the Pocket Cinema Camera OG to the Nikon ZR. Hmm. Both very crippling cameras. Um, maybe don't go to the Nikon ZR. Maybe go to something else instead of that. If you're wanting to upgrade, if you're just shooting like projects for yourself that are vibey, because I mean, the original Pocket would be just a vibe camera more than like a real camera. Necessary to use a stabilizer for the red mode, or is it only necessary for shooting people walking? Do you mostly use hand? Oof. Um, yeah, you should use this stabilizer. I'm a big believer in just using a tripod or a gimbal at this point. You just don't want to look like an a-hole on set and have a shaky image. You got client watching you. Do everything you can to not look like you don't know what you're doing. So put it on something that keeps it steady. Put it on a dolly. Put it on a tripod. Put it on a gimbal. Handheld can be cool, but you have to learn how to operate handheld. You got to get better at it. It's a skill set. And whether you're using an easy rig, you're not using an easy rig. If you're using well, I use my Bebop, which is like a shoot saddle, basically a shoot sack. Um, but you gotta practice at that. Now, when I started, we didn't have any of the gimbals or anything like that, so I had to learn how to like. I only had cameras in my hand. I got really good at it. I kind of lost that ability now because I don't shoot handheld enough. Sometimes when I shoot handheld, I look like an idiot, and you just don't want to do that in front of a client. Now, if you're just doing it for yourself, so be it. But I don't think the global shutter is going to save you. Not at all. I wouldn't even ever rely on that. Hmm. Steven. I guess use the internet. If you want to, sorry, living in South Africa with no industry, how do you make money with cinema? I would just try to make money online. I mean, use the internet to your ability. I got started on the internet. Some of my big, when I started, I was able to shoot for these really big clients. I was able to fly across, to London to shoot for Adidas and stuff like that, and that was all because of the internet. Making stuff and putting it on the internet is harder than it's ever been because it's so crowded, but it is the way to get known when you are in a limiting market, like I was. Funding, I don't know. Um, Surely there's still people down there that are trying to put money into something or need advertising for something. It depends if you're trying to do films. You said with cinema, we all want to figure out how to get money for cinema, so I can't help you there right this moment. There's so many avenues for that. Thoughts on one battle after another? I did talk about this earlier, but yes, loved it. I love that it has like everything. Like it doesn't stop moving. It has good characters. It has comedy in it. It has action in it, but also has tension in it and emotion in it. The script is so good. Not a lot of people have been watching my movie head videos, but I care a lot about scripts these days, and scripts are really just not good anymore. And that script is really good, and it shows off. The payoffs are all good. Great movie. Cinematography is cool. I'm not like a huge film nerd in the cinematography world. I think that this division is cool, um, but that's not what I would. There's a couple shots in there that are incredible, but that's not like what notably I would talk about. Australia. Drone. I don't have a drone. I don't do the drone stuff. I hire people that know how to do that and have taken the test. Um, a lot of people have been showing up with the smaller ones though. I think the market for the Inspires and stuff kind of went away, at least in my area. Just too expensive, Insurance costs too much. I have used the Inspire a lot. I've opted the camera on the Inspires a lot, and I love those. They really were like a real camera up in the sky, and now you're kind of using all those Mavics, the different type of Mavics. And the bigger sensor you can get, the better. If you can get one that has multiple lenses, the better, because really punching in and getting a long lens, like the ability to do that, really takes up like the level of how it looks. Of course, wide has its place too, because you can look like you're going faster and you can capture more. But I do like the ones that can change lenses. Kill to be in America. In America, let's not get. Let's not talk about America right now. Dual lens, mini prime. I love the dual lens. Shot with the dual lens. Shot a whole movie on the dual lens. I like them a lot. I have the Thypox now, which I do like more, but the dual lens is a different thing. It's crisper, doesn't open quite as much, but I like the dual lens. Easton, more dynamic range than the Cine D. Yeah, with internal noise reduction, it has more dynamic range than the Mini LF. I refuse to use a camera that has internal noise reduction. That's just me. That's another reason I shoot red. Once again, that's just a preference thing. But you're right, Easton. But that's the thing. You can add noise reduction to anything. I'm a control freak. Give me the raw data and let me decide if I want to put noise reduction on it later or not. I'd rather have the goods, because you don't know what they're doing in camera. You don't know what kind of magic. Sony's got the magic. We don't know if Ursa, we don't know if Black Magic has the magic. So I don't want them doing that. I don't want them claiming it has as much dynamic range when they're adding noise reduction later. So not for me. Um Old cameras or new cameras? I mean, that's a good debate. I am a bang for buck person. So what can I get for my dollars? I'm going to replace my camera every 3 years, probably anyways. That's why I went with the Monstro. Like a Red Raptor would have been the modern equivalent and would have had cool modern features on it, but it's not going to give me a better image. It's not going to be the image doesn't matter. That's negligible. So might as well spend half or less than half what I paid for the Monstro and have that. Um, and it's really your workflow. What are you doing? Like a DSMC2, big camera, takes a long time to turn on, takes a lot of battery power. Same with the Arri Alexa versus ZR of FX3. I mean, I would say anyone in the industry that's not shooting high end commercials, or honestly, you could get away with an FX3 for a very, very long time, until something else demanded it. Red DSMC2, I dislike it. I have it. It's a soft spot in my heart. That's why I have one. I think if you got a hold of a Dragon for like 3 grand, I think you would never want another camera. Like, unless you really need a full frame. You'd be like, and you don't need autofocus, of course. But a cinema camera, like a Dragon, is just like so good. And so I know it's so old, but it's comparable, if not better, than most cameras that are out. So I made like 3 videos over this. Area Mira is tight, very big. You can just do a lot more with a smaller camera. You can get cheaper gimbals, right? You can get cheaper tripods. Um, so it's really just a scale factor. The bigger the camera gets, the more expensive it gets. And then all the gack that comes around with it, it's the same thing. Oh, now you need a tripod that can hold 30 pounds, right? Canon FD. I still have my Canon FDs. I think about selling them all the time, not because I don't like them, but just because they're redundant. I like them. They're vibey. If they're just, I have them around in case I need something really vibey, and they still look great, and they're different than a lot of the lenses that are out today, and they're really cheap. I think like everyone could have a set of at least the NFDs or anything like that. Like you could have 3 lenses for like less than $1,000, and that's really nice. Yeah, Gemini, exactly. See, exactly. The red look has a look, and if you like the look, then and they can be really small, and there's no cables on them. Now mine is big and it does have cables on it. It's really annoying, but they are like just to get the IO module for the back, the expander that I have, like the studio back. I want to get the smaller one. It's $800. You can get an FX30 used for $800. Well, an S5. You could get an S5. I've bought SSD modules and neither can be read. Huh. Slow cinema. I mean, slow cinema. I don't know what this is that you're talking about here, but I do think that in our dopamine depleting society, I think that slow cinema can be nice. I think it can be very good for you. What's in my lighting kit? Well, I have a lighting van now. I do think this is a fun topic, though. I am going to start selling some lights because I've found that I still, I'm like a kind of an efficient person. Like, I like just to be like, what are the three lights we need? Like, I don't want to pull every light off the van. Um, and I just find myself always pulling off my 720, um, the bicolor Nanlite 720, and then like when I just shot this movie a couple months ago, I just use, which I made a video about this, but tubes all the time. I mean, it's like when we had a tube out on almost every set. I have four of them, right? And they're just so versatile. So like a nice big cob light that's bicolor and some tubes can go like a really long way. And then just get modifiers for all that. Modifiers are like almost more important. Like I'm gonna sell my Nova this weekend. I've got some other panel lights that are great. The Nova is awesome. I love the Nova. It's just kind of big, and going in my van with all the other stuff I have in it, it's just with the case, it's just large and heavy. Um, right now, I'm using a light mat to light me. I like the light mats a lot. Use those a lot because they're already soft. So 720 an umbrella, Easton gets it. 720 in an umbrella you really can use for like so many things, and you can shoot it. You can booklight it like I do interviews usually with the booklight. I mean, just generally I'm using that booklight. Like it's just gonna be the first thing off the van. It's gonna be the first thing that we do is like, all right, grab the 720, bounce it off the umbrella through, like I shoot through a quarter grid a lot because the quarter grid is big and soft. Like I use like an 8 by, and why I use quarter, it's not quite as soft, but I'm gonna booklight it anyways, and it allows me to have more intensity. So I'm just kind of married to the quarter grid. Yeah, Godox light mats first. Yes, that's exactly my position. Now the Nova, what's cool about the Nova is it's fast. Like you can put it on a stand like three times faster than you can put a Godox light mat on a stand, which I do like that. Dizio Arls secondhand Cook Mini S4s. Oof. I mean, it just depends if you need speed. So the S4s aren't very fast. They don't cover full frame, really. Some of them do. Ultra Prime, same thing. Ultra Primes are decently quick, but they'll probably hold their value better. And the Ultra Primes are like a really underrated lens, but the Arls are also really nice. It's negligible. I don't know. I just rock the thigh box on everything now because I just am jaded with lenses. Easton, yeah, 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 yeah. Having like one of those tiny cob lights around, um, like with a light bank or like a little spotlight mount or whatever. We've been using that a lot lately. Those are really handy to have like a little background light. keep kind of meaning to get that one. They've offered, the Cam Mackie light. They've offered to send me one, and I just haven't really cared because I have so many other lights. But since I got the 1200, and this is just the situation I'm in. But since I got the 1200, I've been like using a lot more light. So the 720 and the 1200 come off a lot, rather than the opposite where I'm using like smaller lights, even though I like smaller lights. The light banks are cool too. I don't love that they kind of make you always want to shoot their light toppy, because I don't like top light that much. Like, I only sort of like it. But the light banks are cool. Although, according to Easton, I think they were out of stock recently, at least on B&H. Let's see if they're still out of stock. Not even showing up on B&H anymore. Bummer. Another person popping in about one battle after another. 10 out of 10. I'll just give the quick review. Great movie. Go see it. See it in IMAX if you can. Although I don't think it needs IMAX. I think like a lot of other movies shot on film or IMAX cameras, they have like this scale to them. This movie doesn't need that. There's one scene in it particularly that is just like incredible and will just be more intense if you have it on IMAX, but I don't think you need to see an IMAX other than the sound. I always recommend IMAX more for the sound. The sound is going to be so good. But I liked it a lot. I was really happy to actually see a good movie in theaters because I don't love movies like I used to. Easton, yeah, but then if they want to like collaborate. Easton, they want me to make a video, and I don't want to make a video about that light. I just don't. I would like the light, but I don't want to make a video about it. Here, I'll get it. You make a video about it. What do these little number one fan things mean on this chat? I don't know anything about this chat. Never seen an IMAX movie. Oh, that's really sad. I'm really sorry. I'm just like really lucky, and like I live in not a very populated area, and we have like one of the best IMAX screens, like a laser 4K proper 190, and it's 190, yeah, and it's so nice. Squarespace, yeah. Luckily, this stream is not sponsored by Squarespace, but thanks, Easton. Use my code though if you are going to sign up for Squarespace. Thanks. Is this like blown out highlight on the back of this monitor bothering anyone else? Because it's bothering me a lot. So the Nikon XR, that seems to be the hot topic of the day. Or ZR, whatever the heck it's called. I'm going to get one. We'll try it out. I'm a little curious why, if they bought Red, they got the patent for R3D, why, and it's still 12-bit, why is it not compressed? Like, why is it still, whatever, 1200 megabytes per second? Why is it so big? I'm not sure about that. Like a Komodo in medium quality is going to shoot at like 300. So I'm a bit confused why that happened. It seemed like they rushed this product out and they just put some red branding on it. 32-bit float audio internally is really nice for vlogging. So that's another reason I want to get it, just for like stuff like this. I can just have the 32-bit float audio. I'll make the live videos movies. Okay, Easton. But you have to wear the mask the whole time. And you can't see in the mask. So M mount. We like the M mount. Personal projects. Yes, I am basically done with one of my most favorite short films that I've ever made. I'm The edit is in a really good spot. I'm waiting to get some feedback on it and see what other people think. I'm also now debating turning it into a feature film script. I actually made like a short film that's like personal, has some heart to it, and I'm really happy with it. And so that's what I've been working on, like a lot. I have not been doing like regular work for the last week because I've just been like working on my own stuff. It's been really nice. The debate is, do I release it on YouTube or put it in festivals? I do think it's more of a festival type thing versus the other stuff that I've made. Obviously little dinosaur films don't need to go to festivals, but this one could go to festivals. And I think that I'd have to be patient with that. How do you think AI will reshape the commercial videography space? I don't know. I think that ad agencies and content people, I'll say people, not creators necessarily, will use AI a lot at first, but I think that it would take like a whole nother generation for it to like take hold. People want authenticity. We are inundated with content. You can't trust basically anything you watch already. So why would I trust something that looks like AI? Um, no one actually wants to use it. Only big companies want to use it. No one real wants to use it. So I don't know. I'm hoping that nothing happens with it. Honestly, at the end of the day, people need to film other people. Like that's just that's just the reality of it. My Airy 650s have just arrived. I actually did a comparison with an Amaran 200X and a Mole Richardson tungsten, and I found almost no difference in color, which is weird because the Amaran color should be not as good as like Aperture or Blair, like the higher end. And but like just pointing them both out at me, the subject, using the exact same LUT, I almost found zero difference, which honestly bummed me out. I thought it'd be cooler that the tungstens looked better. Scientifically, they should look better, but honestly, I didn't even notice it. I would just shoot on LEDs. I mean, just 650s are cool though. They are going to burn your hands, so have your gloves around. Um, but yeah, there's no practical reason to use those. Do you have a story idea for the big screen? Yeah, that I would develop if you had funding. I've written a feature film. I've got another one that's 30% done. And now I'm writing another one based off the short film I just made because I was so inspired by my short film. And I thought it would be something easier to get off the ground because this is basically just people talking in rooms. Like it's more of a drama based thing. And so, yeah, I'm actually already working on getting funding for my next project like that. I've got a sponsor maybe willing to give a little cash. We'll see. I might ask you guys here for see if we can do a little crowdfunding. I don't know, but the plan is to make movies. I'm bored with cinematography. I'm bored with shooting commercials. I'm bored with all of it. I want to make movies. So that's the plan. So yes, Colin, that's yes. How do you manage to hire people for your short movies? Do you pay them? If you don't pay them, how do you manage to have high demand to them? I have paid, and it seemed to be kind of a bummer on my part. Spent a lot of money, just to like. I just really wanted my friends to be there, or I really wanted a crew to be there. Now I've been shooting with my friends and people that are just willing to help out because it's more fun to make films than it is to shoot commercials. So a lot of us got into this for movies, and so if you get an opportunity to kind of work on one and just have some fun, make something that feels more meaningful, people usually just are down. And I found that this is more and more that people are just down to make something fun, make cool shit. Like if you're gonna make something cool, people will come, and we need more of that in society. This doesn't always have to be transactional. Now with actors and stuff, sometimes people have tight schedules, and you need them to be there on the day, and so you maybe need to spend a little bit of money, just a few $100, maybe not even, to get someone to help out. But people want to do that stuff. Now, if you're doing something that's a paid gig or commercial gig or something like that, like you need to pay for services then. But on a personal project, I just go, does anyone want to help out? And if they say yes, then awesome. And I'm appreciative and grateful. I buy them dinner, etc. I give them trades if they want to use my light. You know, not super transactional, but there is like, I'll help you out. I mean, I've been shooting these low budget feature films, and there's still people that are willing to take pay cuts. I take huge pay cuts compared to commercial work to these movies because I'd just rather shoot a movie. I'm on a budget, but looking to add just one prime or anamorphic lens to my bag. I tend to shoot wider because I work with a lot of athletes and often do handheld, looking for a distinct look. It seems like that Blazar is the way to go. Chime in here, Easton. I see that you're in here. You've had these, and now we've got Kyle. Pay cuts on a feature. He took a big pay cut on the feature. But yeah, Blazar seems to be the move for anamorphic. The mantis are sick. Yeah, good start there. These questions like that, just rent one. Rent a couple lenses, try them out. The ones that speak to you, buy. But just rent before you buy. Don't go buying something if you've never used it. That's not the way. Now, anamorphic can get you in trouble for social and stuff. I guess there's a new trend that you can do super wide aspect ratios, so maybe it doesn't matter anymore. Aaron Davies, kind of, yeah. Like I live in the Midwest in Oklahoma, like where there's really nothing, and there's still a ton of video work. There's some film work. We have like a decent tax credit, so movies come to town. They don't hire DPs; they hire the other crew. Um, but yeah, Easton here, Kyle here. These are friends here in my city. They're working all the time. Um, like I'm sure that the bigger cities they're working even more in those bigger cities, but the cost of living here is really cheap. So yes, things are concentrated, but there's always businesses that need to promote themselves. So in the commercial world, at least. Kyle, rent my thigh. No, rent my thigh box. I'm gonna have to get new lenses because you got the thigh box, Kyle. That's fine. I'll just get some new lenses, or maybe you should get new lenses. We already discussed the Eterna here, Kyle. So you missed that. I basically just said if you need the big sensor, then get it. But it's not really a $16,000 cinema camera. Yeah, you can only do spec work for so long. I mean, make a few things, prove your worth, and then start charging for it. Um, it's tough. Do you work with other people? Maybe don't like be an assistant or something so that people know you exist in the industry and they can trust you, and maybe like if they're busy they can, be like, well, go shoot with this person instead since I'm busy. If there's enough work for that. If there's not, then sorry. Don't make this Nike running spec ad. That's fair. There's a few cool ideas, right? Make a car thing, make a sports thing, make a food thing, make like a small business thing. How much runtime on the red Komodo on a 512 CFast card? 512 would get you like an hour 40, maybe close to 2 hours if you're shooting in ELQ. I think my biggest card is a 320 because I like to have redundancy, so I have like a bunch of cards. But my 320 only gets like in the 40 minutes, I think, medium quality. Yeah, running ads. And really, okay, if you're shooting on the Komodo, like if you're doing anything that's not like few second shots for a commercial, I would just shoot an ELQ. Um, Gives you a lot of card space and it still looks really good. Now, if you're shooting something that you want that higher quality and you don't need a lot of card space, then shoot medium quality. Basically, never shoot high quality unless you're doing like crazy green screen work or effects that you really need it. But basically, you never need to shoot that. Exciting though, having the red Komodo come. We'll see. Yeah, I shot a running thing when I started. I shot like an Acura commercial when I started. All kind of spec. I mean, the money's at interview B-roll. That's where corporate work. That's where the money's at. What else is there to talk about here? We've been going here for almost an hour. Let's see. Superman. Um, yeah, I talked much more about the approach to shooting those movies, like Henry Bram does. Um, the Superman movie was decent. It was like it was digestible and was fun. I forgot pretty much the whole movie though a day after I saw it. So I think it was trying to be really hopeful, but to me, like leaving it didn't really impact me. Um, and that's kind of what the thing that I'm longing for in movies these days. So like ultimately I didn't love it. Everyone I was with loved it. I saw it with like 5 people and they were all like, that was awesome. I'm like, it was universal junk food. Like not bad, like fun. We all need a pizza, but it was pizza. I thought it was interesting how much they used the volume in it, like the LED wall. I didn't actually catch it when I was watching it, but now it makes more sense why it looked the way it did. I thought that was kind of interesting. Easton. I like that they made Superman not perfect because Superman has always been this kind of like unachievable, idealistic character. I kind of like that they didn't do that. They were just like, he's just trying to do his own thing. But yeah, it was pretty. It needed some more substance for sure. And, and Gunn just makes weird characters sometimes, and either you're into that or you're not. If you like Suicide Squad or something like that, then you like it. But 2 times in theaters, I wouldn't have done that. Maybe go see One Battle After Another twice in theaters, though. CGI dog stole the film. Agreed. The CGI dog was amazing and hilarious. When you look at content you make, is it very much spur of the moment informed by your professional work, or is it more planned far in advance? It's kind of in the middle. We try to plan as much as we can with everything that we do. I try to ask as many questions as I can, see the locations. Like I try to prep because ultimately, the more prep you do, the better the product will be. But at the end of the day, you got to go with your gut and your kind of understanding of inexperience, and then bring that on the day. I always the analogy I always use is like we're like athletes. We're like practice a lot. You like practice, plan a lot, have your plays that you're gonna do, have an idea of what you're trying to do, know what you're going into it. But then on the day, you gotta go execute, and you gotta basically just roll with the punches on the day. I like the political message of the movie. Man of Steel is still better as a weird art house. Yeah, yeah. There was like a lot of political coding. Like I think he said he was making a Universal movie, Superman, but there was a lot of underlying stuff there, which I agree. That was nice, but it was still pretty. It still lacks substance, and I still like Man of Steel way more. Oh, YouTube. I'm so sorry. YouTube, your insights here. YouTube. Yeah, it is. Me personally, I think a lot of people do plan their stuff. I don't. Like my whole YouTube thing, and you can look at it. My YouTube like channel, like holistically, is a mess because it's very much like, what am I interested in this week? What am I curious about this week? Um, what camera do I want to play with? What light do I want to play with? The Superman stuff. I found how his shooting approach, like Henry Bram's shooting approach, was interesting. I was curious about it, so I dove into it deep myself. So I figured, well, I should make a video about that. Other people might find that interesting too. Try to follow my curiosities. I do have some obligations with YouTube, so sometimes I make videos and maybe I'm not super passionate about them, but I do have to make them anyways. New soundbar. Did you get the Sonos Arc? Because it's on sale and it used to be $800 and now it's only $250. And that's what you should have got if you didn't. So take your soundbar back, Easton, and go get the Sonos Arc. I did a Dune-a-thon with some friends this weekend. They had never seen Dune. So we did the OLED Sonos surround sound 4K Blu-rays. Wow. So good. I highly recommend doing that if you can. It was way too expensive, but on sale. Listen, I didn't invite Kyle. There was a lot of people that wanted to come to the Dune-a-thon, but I have a tiny living room. There was 4 of us in there already. I should do another one with all the film bros. Yeah, go over to Easton's house. Does the Samsung soundbar use Bluetooth, or is it plugged in, or does it use Wi-Fi? Because this matters. Do you have any lighting setups or looks that you or DOPs you work with when you direct tend to go for? A huge trend in the UK is the key is always super golden and everything else is neutral. I did that a lot for a while, kind of that like off-white balance. But I've been kind of going back towards more like on white balance stuff. Um, it's just usually like a big key and something really spicy in the background. That's been like my go-to. Just walk in, make the background look contrasty and spicy, put like a slash on it or something, give something to the background, hard light, and then do kind of a soft or like a soft fob, a soft and hard light on your subject. Like that stuff I posted on my Instagram a couple weeks ago. This is kind of like my go-to thing. Hold on, let's see. How do I pull this up? I'll show you. I'll show you. Yeah. Okay. This body. So I think we had a 720 book light with the umbrella through a quarter grid. We talked about this earlier. And then we had a 720 on the background through it with a spotlight mount. It's not book lights every time, but it's a good place to start. Depends what you're doing. If you have the room for it and you need it to be soft, but hard light's kind of back in, but that's why I like this kind of soft hob look because it's kind of the in between. You have some hard light and some soft light. Oh, Kyle gaps for me like a lot. He says big key after we light a whole movie with tubes. Yeah, movies are different. I think movies narrative is completely different than commercial. They're just not the same thing. But love this frame. Easton, we talked about this. You see that vignette on this? You see the thigh pox of vignetting is crazy. There was a little MC on the table here, just because our key wasn't lifting some of the dark books. Yes, Andre Safab. Oh man, I'll let Kyle answer this. He's big into the spotlight angle. I think the one I have is the 36. But there's sometimes that we've wanted to go sharper, I think, or wider, I suppose. Like this one, we had it backed up probably 20 feet from the wall in order to get this spread. That was like bogging my computer down. Which I'm gonna make a video about that soon. I think I'm gonna get a new computer because I've been rocking an Intel for like 6 years. Chuck's the director of the shot I just showed. Can you show us a better frame? Rude, Easton. Rude. I mean, I do like this other one. Hold on. This is like an alt angle. Yeah, Chuck. I feel like that's like one of the best frames that made in a while. Oh, no. This is kind of like a side shot with a big whip dolly move, thanks to Chuck. I think this was my more film color that was rejected by you, Chuck, which is fine. The 36 probably is more versatile, unless, yeah. Yeah, trying to light spaces and not faces is like a hard thing. Like you just want to, it's so easy just to want to focus on the face and then forget about the background. I do tend to just start with the face and then work my way to the background, or try to have an idea of how I can do all of it at once and then I just accent one or the other. What, you guys are all going? I want to come. Okay, I gotta get off the live stream so I can go have coffee. Yeah, it's Harvey up top. And then we did this like crazy wide AI thing, which I don't have. Do I have the AI shot? I do. AI extension on this one. Don't tell anyone. The books, Chuck, I wish the books looked the same. I know we had like 24 hours to get that done, but I wish they were like the same style of books on the edges, you know? You're welcome for the free advice. Oh, I don't have a video coming up about those stills. Maybe I should make a video over that. I don't have any behind the scenes. I guess you got the gist. I just told you. I do have a big commercial that I'm trying to make a video about, but it hasn't been released yet. So we got one of those coming up, hopefully. The spotlight, yeah, the lighting sort of was on the edge there, Kyle. Yeah, the VFX person has a slew of things he does now. He like doesn't use AI like just to make a thing, but he uses it now all the time to like get things going or additionally add to things or it's been pretty interesting. Thanks, Aaron. Bye, Chuck. Yeah, shifting. Yeah, sometimes you need more light for the background because the background is so much bigger. Or maybe you want it brighter than the skin. Maybe you want the skin a few, notches down. Often have, we can use the 1200 through a window or whatever as the back, and then you can just use a 720 on the face or whatever lights you have. Yeah, setting the level for what you can't control and then reserving kit for everything. Yeah, I for sure. I feel like the approach is always like what's out of my control and then trying to fill in those gaps. And often like on the feature film it was something we did a lot. We would kind of flip the approach. It's either do we need more light or do we need to take a more like take away light? Do we like lean into the darkness or do we make it brighter? It's kind of a weird thing. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm just always yelling, flip the approach, flip the approach. It's like what's already in the room that you can accent, or do you want to take over everything and have full control? Yeah, the budget. I mean, what's weird is I feel like I've shot stuff for so long without big lights and like got this mindset of like this is how you light things when you don't have a lot of lighting. And then eventually once I got the big lights, I used them, but it's like this weird like you can do it. Like you can probably make it work. Um you just have to problem solve things in a different way. Maybe you have to put shears over the window so you don't blow them out, or block all the light from the window so you can control it, or have a light inside versus outside. That's like all the big lights really do for you. Then if you're shooting on like one of those wide angle lenses, then that makes things harder too sometimes. Okay, I think I'm gonna jump off here. This was fun. This was fun chatting. Maybe we'll do it again sometime soon. Thanks to the Aarons, spelled differently. Kyle, Easton, Chuck is gone. But let's Easton, Kyle, let's hang out. And I'm gonna try to make some more videos here soon. I'm thinking about doing some videos like this. That's just like me just talking. Maybe you get a little nugget out of it. Let me know if that sounds interesting. Less like showy. I'm just like so sick of like spending, a week making a video when it's sometimes just talking. Oh, now Alex is in here. And Tucker. Well, dang it. Maybe I won't get off. Maybe I'll stay on for another few minutes. Yo. But yeah, I'm thinking like more authentic videos. Haven't been using the Opaline NDs at all. I use the NDs. I did use the Opaline once not that long ago. But the IRND, I mean, I used it last week because we were shooting on signature primes and we needed a proper matte box on that thing. So definitely had the element in there. Favorite lighting technique? I don't have a favorite lighting technique. we talked about this. We talked about this just a second ago. I'll show this frame again. But we were talking about soft hob with the hard light in the background. Let's see if I can pull it up. Soft hob, wandering DP coined this. Something I did recently, and it's just like big slash, gaffer slash in the background, soft on the face, a little bit, there's some hard light on our hands here. But the go-to is the Nanlite 720 with an umbrella on it through a quarter grid, and then putting some harsher lights elsewhere to kind of sell that it's a harsh look. Talking with the collaborators. I mean, that was kind of fun. You actually had Chuck in here a second ago. He was the director of this spot. And that is kind of an interesting thing because each director is totally different. Some directors are like, I have my idea, now you go make it. And some are the opposite, very visual. They know what they want. Chuck is very much a visual director. He knows like where he wants the camera to be and kind of what he's going for. And so he's a good person to be like, is this what you want? And he'll tell you yes or no. Whereas some directors are kind of like, looks good to me, This one like happened really fast, but I feel like we did a really good job with how fast it happened. No, it's okay. I'm willing to talk about these lighting setups again. Because we did this and then we went wider. So we kind of had this big dolly move that kind of smashed out to this shot. And then we eventually did these kind of like AI extension on this. I say AI. It's using AI tools to build the extension, but like the VFX person still had to do a lot. The umbrella doesn't fail. What's cool about the umbrella is that you can use it as a booklight or you can use it as your key if you want something a little bit more punchy. Just like depends on your situation and like how big the room is and just what you're working with. Yeah, I feel like I brought up the umbrella like years and years ago, and it's like starting to really take hold. Like people are starting to use the umbrella a lot more. I don't know what it was, like why people were so adverse to it, but like it was cheap, big source, and like the nan lights, a lot of them have like an umbrella holder on them. So like you only have to use one stand. They are big though. I mean, even like a softbox, they're like softbox size kind of because you want to get it. I usually take the reflector off, the intensifier off to get a bigger spread, and then back it up as far as you can. Four favorite movies, letterbox style. And do you collect criterions? I have some criterions. I do not have four favorite movies. If you watch my movie head video, I talked about this. You can't do that. You can't talk about that. Like there's too many movies. Um, it's really like what am I into right now? But I'm a big, Denis fan, Fincher fan. Denis is like it can be like everyone's favorite, I guess. He's just so stylish, like so dialed on the cinematography department too, just like Fincher. What am I into right now? Well, right now I'm just watching a lot of spooky season movies, but I really just like movies that do all the things. Like they're not just one thing. I want there to be a big plot and a big story and huge character arcs, and I want it to look good. That's what I like. I watched La La Land again recently. So good. Here's a question: what does everyone think about Dune Messiah being shot by Linus? That's the and not Greg. That's the question. Why did that just go full screen? Kyle, but the umbrella doesn't look cheap. Yes, I've seen one battle after another. I give it 5 stars. It does everything. Great script, great editing, great cinematography, great performances, suspenseful, funny, and has drama. It's a banger. Yeah, sure. I mean, Denis is still behind there, but like Linus is like, I guess he kind of is a director shooter. He's a director's DP. But like when you think of like some of the biggest movies ever, you also think about them having the best DPs ever. And like he's a good DP for sure, but like in his own way, like there's nothing about his work that I'm like, oh, you know. So I don't know. I have not seen him. Um, I try to see like everything, and I that was one that just like out of the gate, everyone said it had no substance, and that's the thing that I'm really upset about with movies now is like they just don't have substance, and so I just didn't go see it. I'm guessing it looks like a Gatorade commercial, like that's how the trailer for it was, and I'm sure that adds to the story, but nah, I haven't seen it. Happy end. Okay, noted. I do not know what that is. Yeah, yeah, the Atlas Orions. Surely he will not do that. I mean, surely I think they're shooting it on IMAX, right? Like that's the whole thing is that he knows how to shoot on film. He's like a more film shooter, so that's why he's getting hired for that. Yeah, Alex, exactly. Like Greg adds so much. It's one thing to be like already a visual director, but then if you have a DP that can add to that, It looks like Ex Machina. Okay, okay. There's a gnat in here. I only made it halfway through Babylon. Should I finish it? That movie was so long and didn't really have like a through line story. And I think like Damien is like one of the best writers. And I was just like, so much was happening, but yet I was like bored somehow. Oh, Patrick. Yeah, I mean, I would love to only talk about movies, honestly, but I don't know. It's like a different thing. Like people that like are into cameras and shoot things don't care about talking about movies as much as like just movie but nerds off in the like the film essay space or whatever. Red Scarlet W for really good price. What's a really good price? I think the Red Dragon sensor is so good. Yeah, good job, Alex. 3K is good. I mean, that's cheaper than what an FX3. And see, it tops out at 50 frames per second at 5K, or does it shoot 60 at 5K? If it's a whole kit, if it comes with the expander and a touch monitor with that doesn't have a cable on it for like everything, and you get cards with it, yeah. I think that's great. Like I've been recommending this to new filmmakers that like I meet in person because that's so much camera. There's like some things about it that may annoy you. It takes 30 seconds to turn on, like every other Red. Um, so like, have you used one before? I do think it's and I've talked about this in my videos. It's funny is because I think when people like got the Scarlet back when it came out, we just didn't have the resources and tools that we have now to make stuff look good, look as good at that like price point. So it was kind of like people just didn't like Red. But now it's like with the coloring tools we have, like when you use that camera, you'll realize how much better it is than like your Blackmagic 6K. Um, like it's bigger, but you'll just like the image better. I personally just would like the image better. It's like just it's so thick. And it's a proper cinema camera. So it does like everything. Like you go into the menus and you can do anything that you want to do. Like it's designed for to shoot movies essentially, right? So it's all there. It's not a prosumer camera. It is a full-blown cinema camera. Going back to the movie topic, yeah, I mean that's why I started Movie Head a little bit. I know people were confused by Movie Head, but I want to talk more about movies. It's just hard to like connect it to me because I think people like click on my videos to see me talk about cameras and lighting or something, but then like I'm talking about movies. I don't know. I would love to talk about movies. I would love to talk about screenwriting. These are things that I've gotten really into and like learned a lot about, and I think there's stuff to share. Maybe it needs to be a keep Movie Head going. I think it's hilarious. I thought it was funny too. It's funny because, but like, it got 700 views. I mean, it's not clickable, I suppose. But I was asking people this earlier. I might just do more stuff like this. Like we just set up the camera and start talking, and maybe that ends up me talking about movies or something like that. Not clickable yet. Is the voice hard to hear? Is the Movie Head voice hard to hear? Do it for the passion. I mean, yeah, of course, of course. The passion, yes. I'm always like an input over output person, but like YouTube is a part of my job, and so there's like a certain expectation. Like, does a brand want to work with me? Um, it's just the game of life, like commerce versus art. I wish it was all art, baby. Okay, you guys will get in some insider scoop. Hold on. This is how I do movie head. I put this on, and I almost can't see through it. So I made a script for my last one, the Dominoes one, and I almost couldn't read the script because I was wearing this thing. And just imagine me alone in a room with this on talking to the camera. It's pretty funny, I gotta say. It has gloves too, which I haven't used, but that could be fun. My hands could be all keyed out. Oh, I gotta put this back. Yeah, I guess the other thing about talking about movies is I'm just like so jaded and like pessimistic right now. It's hard to talk like nicely about movies, and maybe that would also be more engaging. But I kind of just want to rant. Like, I just wish I liked movies like I used to. Like the new ones just are not working for me. And by the way, like I liked Caught Stealing. I did. It was just crazy that it was directed by Aronofsky. Yeah, but this is why like I made that Dominoes video because it's really I think it's the scripts more than it is anything else. Filmmakers are capable, right? The craft is at its actually at its highest point. Like we have got the best tech we've ever had. We've got the most experienced people we've ever had, but it's the scripts. It's the writing. It's just they're empty scripts. I mean, I can rant. I can rant so hard. Yeah, people are going out to see movies. Apparently, the Warner Brothers stuff, like there are originals that are making money again, which is so great. Yeah, flat lighting. That's the thing too about Scott Stealing. Like, I mean, that just looks like someone turned on an Alexa 35. I'm sure he lit the crap out of it, but there's no contrast. We don't use contrast on anything anymore. I mean, even One Battle After Another, shot on VistaVision, looks incredible because the film color looks so nice. But a lot of it's just not lit. Not really. I mean, there's lighting, but there's no movie lighting, which is cool. That's its own vibe. Weapons. What was cool about Weapons is that DP is really good, and he every shot, and I'm sure this is a Kreger thing too. Every shot was so intentional in that movie. Now I like Barbarian a lot more than I liked Weapons. I just didn't really like, no spoilers, but the ending of Weapons. But I love that each shot was like designed. There was no like coverage. Like they were like, this is where the camera needs to be, and this is what the camera needs to be doing. I thought that was really cool about Weapons. Like it had a lot of style in that way. That's such a common thing. People are like, I haven't seen Barbarian, but I've seen Weapons, and for me, that is so like the Kreger universe is so connected in my brain. Like it's wild that people saw Weapons like before seeing Barbarian. Definitely watch Barbarian. Yeah, didn't like Long Legs. Tonally very confusing. Third act terrible. But I mean, I really want to see what Zach is going to do. Like he is clearly making a ton of money for these investors, and he said in all of his interviews that his best script, his favorite script, actually takes place in like the Gotham universe, which is interesting. What sucks about that is that it's superhero esque, but what's cool is that they'll give him money for it, right? Like it's a kind of a shoe in. So Kurosawa's high and low. I need to do like I need to do the Criterion Kurosawas. I should get like all of those. Yeah, Hollywood's in a weird spot. Super weird spot. That's right. He's doing Resident Evil. It'll have his vibe. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know Hollywood. The reality is they follow the numbers. It's like what are people going to see? So in some ways you can blame us. I almost did a whole movie head thing about this. Like just blame us. It's our fault. Yeah, like my new thing is like I watch a movie kind of like almost every day, or at least like many times a week, and I'll put on a '90s movie so fast compared to, or an early 2000s movie. There's some bangers in the early 2000s, but the '90s movies was where it's at, and I hate to feel that way. So nostalgic. I don't want to like take away from like creating new stuff going forward and appreciating new stuff, but it really was not the same. It's just social media's ruined everything, and not just from the studio standpoint. I mean, even probably from a writing standpoint, we don't have maybe as much to offer, like from a human level. Like our struggles are all kind of similar. It's like it's a different type of struggle, and I don't know. I do people want to escape? We obviously can't make dark movies anymore because like no one wants dark movies. Not Americans because things are too dark. I say that with privilege, but I agree. Commercial web work, yeah. And a lot of it's time and money. I mean, it always has been, but like film made you kind of light a certain way and shoot a certain way. I feel like back in the day, and you had to really know what you were doing. But now the digital age has kind of changed a lot of that, and also the Marvel effect, of course, with log or flat images. It's just easier. It looks better on all screens if it's flatter. But that's why I lit my last movie all with tubes because there's contrast. So much contrast. What's up? Man, we're gonna make like a 2-hour thing here. Okay, back to camera talk. Komodo X versus Pixis 12K. Thoughts? I've been trying to decide which one to save for. Better investment. First off, cameras really an investment is a weird thing to say at this point. They're all good. Like they're all good. Um, so all right, see you, Alex. Um, it's kind of like just what makes you happy to shoot with. Like what camera do you pick up and you're like, this works for me? Um, I haven't shot with the 12K sensor. I'm kind of like a snob when it comes to color and the dynamic range. Now the X has pretty good dynamic range. The Pixis probably has about the same, if not a little more or less. But the X is you're getting that R3D codec, which I love. It's global shutter, love that. I've shot a lot on the X, and I like it. Super 35, as long as you don't need full frame. That is obviously a big part of that purchase. But what you're gonna see maybe with the X is that like the Pixis and stuff, they have different analog to digital converters. The Pixis will never be more than I think they call it a 16-bit sensor though, don't they? But I think it's really 12-bit. Like you're really only getting 12-bit, which means you really can't ever get more than 13 stops of dynamic range. The Komodo X I think is like 14-bit. They call it 16-bit, but you're just going to get a little more out of it, even though like the stats would say otherwise. But I think when you shoot with the X, you might like it more. But I haven't shot with the 12K, so I can't really talk about it. It's like an ecosystem thing. Like buy into an ecosystem. Like I have the Komodo and the Monstro, and I have red stuff. So if you get the 12K, you're going to eventually get a second camera, a B camera, or something to that effect. And so you're going to want to get something to pair with it. So be thinking about that a little bit. Or like what I did with the Komodos, I bought the Komodo first, and then got the Monstro. So I kind of like stair stepped up to it. So like if you get the 12K, will you eventually get the Ursa 12K? Or like what can you kind of do like a hand me down thing to yourself? You love S35, great. Full frame is just good for lenses. It's not like that one is better than the other. It's just like I get more out of my Thypoc lenses on a full frame camera. Um, I can just go wider. I can see more of the edges. I think Super 35 is great. I think for narrative stuff, you should just shoot on Super 35 and not even touch full frame camera. The price of those two, you can get a Komodo X pretty cheap. Not pretty cheap, but I mean, I suppose they're in a similar price bracket. But then there's noise reduction on the 12K sensor, and I don't like that. Yeah. You could get a Komodo X and a Komodo SB cam. We're really going to come down to ZR. What's going to be annoying about that is the IO, the lack of cinema camera stuff on it. Basically, like you're not going to get like the ability to use the same type of time code and SDI on it, um, that sort of stuff, which is kind of annoying. But I'm going to maybe get one too, regardless. So, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I just love how small this guy is. Like, it's just so tiny. The Raptor XE would be really fun. It's kind of the camera I've always wanted. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it just depends what you need your B camera for. Because there's sometimes when I'm like the micro HDMI, like a lot of times, like even when using my B camera, I still want to have a full follow-up focus system. I still want to have my wireless transmission. Maybe I need time code because I'm doing audio. There's these things that like I still really need, and it makes it harder to get away from like a proper cinema body because you just can have all that stuff, and it's going to be so universal. Where you're going to need like different stuff for the Nikon. So this is where I'm in the same debate because I'm going to get the Nikon in and test it out and try to decide about this, but it's kind of the same thing. It's like just how much would you use the B cam? What would you use it for? It's very odd that it's like a vlog camera essentially with these other insanely good specs in it. Like what a weird camera. The 4-inch screen being so good is really enticing. Venture head leading towards red. I mean, if you get a chance to shoot on both of them before buying, I would do that. My guess is that you'll just, for whatever reason, my guess is you'll just like the red image better. You have a V Raptor with a small HD monitor and a Ninja V. The crazy thing is I use false color in gyroscope. The problem is every monitor show different reading. The small HD monitor, is it the proper like red one for the V Raptor? Because I just use all like internal controls when I use Reds. Like use their algorithms, don't use someone else's. That's odd. I love using the traffic lights and the histogram built in on the Red. I don't even use false color much anymore. I use it a little bit. I will toggle it on to like look at ratios more than I use it for like exposure. Yeah, they added a bunch of stuff like that, and I honestly haven't even like dove into it. I'm just like so used to how my workflow. I still go back to like how I've always talked about on my channel, but I make LUTs for my cameras, and then I use those LUTs like religiously, um, and then I check false color every once in a while to just kind of see where my skin is at and where the highlights are at. So like more of a ratio thing, um, and making sure I'm not totally underexposed. But I with the red, I use the the noise meter and the traffic lights for pretty much everything. So if it looks good on the monitor and then those things are good, then I know in post I'm gonna be fine. Especially with like being able to change ISO in post and all that stuff and shooting raw. It just like doesn't matter. Um, they offered to send me that NAS. I didn't, but I it went to my junk mail and then I saw it like a month too late, so I did not get it. So I don't have any of that. What I do is I just use SSDs for like all my for like just most things, and then I offload to just a big 8 terabyte drive, and then I stash that away. I'm cheap, and I don't like. Yeah, I'm just cheap. Yeah, I mean the red raw is big, but it's like not as crazy as you would think. I mean, okay, like my short film I just made, a lot of takes, but it's like roughly 3 terabytes, which I guess is quite a bit for like a 6 minute short film. But um, like for 8K, it's not as big as you would think. I guess is what I'm getting at. Come on, keyboard. Yeah, 3 terabytes at 8K. I'm shooting at like an 8:1 compression, which I don't know what the equivalent that would be on like a Komodo or something. But let's see, the movie I just shot, it was a lot. Like I think we had a 24 terabyte drive or something like that, and maybe we didn't fill that up. I can't remember. And then when I shot a movie on the Komodo, I think our drives are like 14 terabytes or a little more. And that was at medium quality. Okay. This was fun. I'm gonna get off here and do some more work. Yeah, it's more efficient than you would think. But at the end of the day, it is 6K. So like or 8K. Like, but it is the codec is more efficient than you think. It's not like the Nikon. Okay, more movie talk, please. Yeah, I need to get some votes on that. The movie talk. All right, folks. I will see you later. Bye.